Hey guys, it's Lucian, and today is the start of Week 3 of the O.W.L.s Magical Readathon. So, if you're interested, I have 3 vlogs about the O.W.L.s Magical Readathon. The first is my Imagine Me reading vlog, which I'll link in the description box. The second is my Week 1 reading vlog, and the third is my Week 2 reading vlog. All of those are in the description box below. And I go over what the readathon is and stuff, so if you're interested, go watch those. But I'm just gonna dive right in. I have already picked what my next read will be, I think. So, before I was like, you know, I really want to read King of Fools by Amanda Foody. I don't know if I will be able... Sorry, my family is talking very loudly at the moment, but I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to read it this month, if it'll fit into any of the prompts. And then I was looking at the prompts, and I was like, oh, let me do this one, because I, hadn't done it before, so I was like, let me just do this one. And it was to assign numbers to your TBR, and then use a random number generator to pick them. And guess what it landed on? I'm not joking. I was, so surprised. I was like, oh my god, that is just, God is really working for me. But this book is also very long. I just finished a 600-page book last week, which was Kingsbane by Legrand, and this book is also almost 600 pages. It is exactly 599 pages. I don't know what I'm doing to myself, but I read the first book very quickly. They're very quick reads, so hopefully I can get this done in the next 2 or 3 days. I think I can. I believe in myself. But this is the sequel to Ace of Shades, which is the first book in the Shadow Game series. And I really enjoyed Ace of Shades. I could use a reread, but I'm not going to reread it because I'm not rereading anything during this readathon. And I can probably just find a recap online or a review to, refresh my memory. But I remember most from it, so, I don't really care that much. But yes, I am very excited to read this book. I can't say anything about it because it's a sequel, but the first book takes place in this sort of casino, Atlantic City inspired world. And our main character, Erin, in the first book, her mother has gone missing and she enlists the help of Levi, who is a street person, he's a street part of a mob, or a street gang, and they have to team up to find her mother. And that's what the first book is about. This book is much longer than the first book. The first book was just 400 pages, and this one's 200 pages longer than that, but I think it'll still be a really fun read. I haven't heard anybody talking about this series, and it really upsets me because the first book is so good. But yeah, I'm not gonna start reading it right now. I'm gonna go on a walk, and maybe I'm gonna try to get 100 or 200 pages into this book today, and then see what happens in the coming days. I really want to do all the challenges for this readathon. If you did not watch the first 2 vlogs, I am doing this to be a ministry worker, and I have that right here, and the things that I have to do are, I have to do Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, History of Magic, Potions, and Transfiguration. I don't know how many of those I have done already, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do all the prompts. I don't know if I will, because some of them are just I don't have any books that fit them, but this is gonna be my next one, and it is gonna count for Defense Against the Dark Arts, I think? I don't remember what the actual class is called, but yeah, I just wanted to start this vlog and tell you what I'm going to be reading this week. So, it is the next day. I read 1 chapter yesterday. I had the worst headache and I just couldn't bring myself to read. But I am now 100 pages into King of Fools. I also downloaded the audiobook to listen to when I am going on walks and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a slower start than Ace of Shades, but it's also 200 pages longer, so I'm fine with that, especially since it's a sequel. And I heard that there's a really big political arc, and I really like political intrigue, and there's an election going on, and I think it's just really, really interesting so far. I like the build like, how we're building up to even more throughout the story already. And I like the new POV that we've been getting, so it's all pretty good so far. I think the world is just so interesting. It's like a 1920s Atlantic City inspired world with magic. We're learning new stuff. Like, we have established missions for both Levi and Jack, who's the new perspective in the story, and I think all their missions sound really interesting, and I'm excited to delve into them as the story progresses. But I don't know what time it is. It's probably like 4:30, but I think I'm gonna go on a walk now and hopefully get some audiobook listening in. If I don't, that is fine. I'm hoping to read like 100 more pages tonight at least, or like before the end of the day. So yeah, that's my plan. I am like 300 pages into King of Fools by Amanda Foody. I might be a little less, like, I can't even speak today. But I have to do this update really quickly because I have to go to a Google meeting in like 10 minutes. But I am just consistently impressed by Amanda Foody with this novel because the world is just so complex and intricate, and the magic system as well. In this world, everyone has 2 names, and your name sort of decides what your power is. So you have, the power is called talents. So you have a dominant talent, which is the one that you're dominant in, and then you have your split talent, which is your second talent. And I just think that's so interesting, and I love how the rest of the world plays such, like, how the setting plays such an interesting role in the story, because it is inspired by Las Vegas and Atlantic City, and so people are always scheming, and there's always, like, missions going on, and I'm just so incredibly impressed that, Amanda Foody, there are 3 main characters in this book, like 3 perspectives that we're going between. We have N and Levi, which we had in the first book, and then we also have the addition of Levi's best friend, Jack. And each of them have their own story and something that they're doing and contributing to the plot, and it is so good. The political arc in this book is also really, really well done. There is an election going on throughout the story, and there is just there is like constantly fighting between the different, what is the word? Not representatives, but, candidates. And I think it is so interesting to see how the different class systems play a role in this story, because there are different hierarchies, like, and there are also people, depending on how much magic you have, or how, good your talent is, or like how proficient you are in it, sort of shows your class system, if that makes any sense. And I love all the characters. In the beginning, I was having a little bit of a hard time getting into the story because it had been like almost a whole year since I read Ace of Shades. And so but now I'm like in, and the story is really like starting to start. And I'm almost on like part 2. This book is separated into like, there's like part 1 and part 2, but then within them there's also like different sections. I don't really know, but I am on like section 6 of part 1, and I am really close to getting to part 2. Oh wait, I was talking about the characters. So yeah, we have a lot of new characters in this book. N is sort of, I can't really explain it, but like I can't say it because it's kind of spoilery. But N is sort of forming a group of people, Levi is interacting with other people, Jack is also doing something that is, like, we're meeting a lot of new characters, and they're all sort of interwoven, and I love getting to see the new people that are populating New Reigns, and this is a very good sequel so far, and I'm very impressed by how different, how it's like a separate story from the first book. Like, I feel like if you're doing a trilogy or just a series in general, each book needs to stand on its own while building on the previous one, and this has, so far, a completely separate arc from the first book, and it is like a new arc, which I really like. It's not just depending on what happened in the first book and what's going to happen in the next book. It is its own thing, and I think that is the right way to do a trilogy, and this is so good so far, and I'm really, really enjoying it, and I just can't wait to read more. I'm like not even halfway through, but I just am itching to continue reading. But I have to go do my Google meeting and then eat lunch, but then I will definitely be getting back to King of Fools, and hopefully I can finish it today if I'm lucky. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Saturday, April 18th at 2:55 p.m. I woke up so late last night, this morning. I woke up at like 11:15, which is unheard of for me. I usually wake up at around like 9, so I had a very late start to the day, and I feel like my day is already gone. But it is also disgusting outside. It is raining, and I just wanted to update you because I'm going to start reading King of Fools by Foody, or like I'm going to keep reading it. Last night I got to page 400, and so I have around 200 pages left, and I'm definitely going to be finishing that book today. I also started another book. I started an audiobook, which is The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. I'm literally on chapter 3, so I haven't read anything. Basically, but, I love Maureen Johnson's books. I think she is an amazing writer. She's one of my favorite authors of all time. I have read quite a few books from her. I've read the Truly Devious series, which is one of my favorite books, like, one of my top 5 favorite series of all time, and I've also read her 13 Little Blue Envelopes and The Last Little Blue Envelope, which a lot of people don't like, but I really enjoy it, and I actually got my sister to read them, which, we both actually enjoyed them. So, yeah, and I don't know if I've read any other books from her. I don't think so, but I might have. But The Name of the Star is, counts for the challenge, which is to read a white cover, and it is mostly white. There are, like, some accents of green, but, the book is about, from what I have gathered, it is about a girl named Rory, and she lives in New Orleans, I believe, or like really close to New Orleans in Louisiana, and she gets a chance to go to a boarding school in London, and a boarding school, sort of like Truly Devious, but it is a boarding school in London called Wexford, and she gets a chance to go there, and basically what happens is these murders that mirror Jack the Ripper's murders back in like the 1880s, I believe, have started to happen, and they are very reminiscent of the Jack the Ripper killings. I think so like the police know how it's going to happen and when, but they don't know where, so the locations are completely different from the original murders. And Rory gets there, and she becomes the only witness to one of these murders, and she has to sort of solve the crimes and try to get to the bottom of it. But there are 3 books in the series, I believe. There is supposed to be a 4th one coming out, but what happened was Maureen Johnson published the first 3, and then she got really, really sick and couldn't finish the 4th one, and then she wrote the Truly Devious series, and so the 4th book is supposed to be coming at some point in the future, she said. But, yeah, I am, like, literally, I just started the 3rd chapter on audio, and I might move over to the physical copy once I finish King of Fools, but I'm hoping to get, like, 100 pages into King of Fools before the next time I update you, so definitely look out for that. I know it looks like I haven't moved a centimeter, but I have. It is about an hour later, and I've read 100 more pages of King of Fools, and I'm gonna update more later, but this book is, like, so crazy, and I forgot to tell you last time that, like, I'm like I said, I was so impressed by how how intricate this book is with all the threads and stuff, and how, like, amazed I am at Amanda Foody's talent. But this book is also just so mature on a level that is not very normal in young adult literature. Like, it deals with things that are really heavy, but it deals with them in a very respectful way, I think. Like, one of the main characters, Jack, is a recovering alcoholic, and it deals with that, and it's mentioned multiple times, and it really goes into how that works and what the mentality is like, especially being in a city like New Rains, where there's just substances all over the place. So that is something that I really love, but also it deals with... So I could literally do a whole review on the Shadow Gang series, and I might. So if you're interested in that, definitely let me know, but I just love this series so much. And I will update more when later, but I think I'm gonna go on a walk now because it's the only way that I'm maintaining sanity during the quarantine. It is much later in the day, and I am, 40 pages away from finishing King of Fools by Amanda Foody. But I just needed to update because I just finished... So this book, book 1, Ace of Spades, there were dividers, and the dividers were, separating the story into days. And in this book, the dividers are, the parts of a card, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, J, Q, K, A. And so I just finished the Q section. It was only one chapter, it's from N. And something just happened at the end of that chapter, and I had a feeling it was gonna happen, a really, really strong feeling. I hadn't been told about it, but, I could kind of just gather from the things that Amanda Foody was sharing on her Instagram and stuff like that. So I had a feeling it was gonna happen, but I didn't know it was gonna happen like that, and I was like... I don't know if that's the ending people are talking about, because it's not technically the ending. I still have, 50 pages left, but I didn't know that it was gonna happen like that, and I don't know if that's the ending everyone's talking about or not, or, what... I'm not even coherent, because I cannot even process what just happened, but I'm probably going to finish the last 50 pages later tonight, or maybe I'll save it for the morning, because I'm just trying to savor this book for as long as possible. But I am going to go upstairs and watch some TV with my family, and then I'm gonna try to put this off, finishing this book off, for a really long time. I'm probably gonna finish it tonight just because I really want to know what happens, because I've heard that the ending is so incredibly shocking. So I really want to know what happens, and I have that much left, literally that much. So yeah, I just need to update that because I still cannot even process what I just read. I finished King of Fools. So the ending that I thought was the ending was not the ending. There were 4 other endings in the last 50 pages of this book. And I don't even know what to say. I'm definitely gonna update tomorrow because I look like a mess right now, which is pretty indicative of how I feel on the inside. But I'm not even gonna try to express my feelings about this book because my mind is elsewhere. I just am gonna go to sleep thinking about this book for a whole hour because so much happened in this 600-page book that I was not expecting, and there was just so many layers to the story and all of the different cliffhangers that we left off of. I need to, I can't even speak English right now because I'm so, confused and, happy and sad and, worried and, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep and I will talk to you in the morning, and I'm just gonna go to sleep and process this. It is clearly the next morning, and I'm going to wrap up my thoughts on King of Fools by Foody. I really wanted to give this book 5 stars, but I knew, like, I just couldn't. I definitely want to reread Ace of Shades and then read this one before I read Book 3, which is coming out in September. But knowing me, I probably won't get around to it until around this time next year. But, yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I settled on a rating of 4.5 stars. The reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because it was a little bit slow. Like, it was just kind of bogged down by all the different elements of the story. Like, we have 3 main characters that we're going between, and they each have a different mission, and it was just a lot slower than Ace of Shades. But I don't fault it for that, because there was just so much to do. I cannot wait for Queen of O.W.L.s, and I think it's gonna be so amazing. This book was just, like, incredible. If you have not read the Shadow Game series, you need to. It is criminally underrated, and it is just so mature for YA. It is very complex. There are multiple storylines going on. It's really fun. The world building is amazing. The magic system is so creative and inventive and interesting. You need to pick it up. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. People Kill People by Hopkins. I do not have a physical copy, but I was reading the ebook, and I know I said I didn't want to read books that weren't on my TBR, but this is, like, kind of just a throwaway book. I don't even know if I'm gonna finish it. It's just sort of, like, I was just reading it during, like, the day, yesterday and today, but it is, sorry, I'm just, like, moving around. It is an interesting narrative style. We basically have these, there are these sections that are told in verse, which if you don't know what verse is, it's basically like poetry style, but not. I've only read one other book in verse, which was The Poet X by Acevedo, and I didn't love it that much, but yeah, some of it is told in verse, but the majority of it, I would say, is switching between these 6 different characters. It's sort of told in second person, so it's saying, like, you do this, you do that, and it's, yeah, but, it's not that great, and it could count for read a book with a white cover, because it's, like, mostly white, and then the name of the star can be read a book outside your favorite genre, and then Imagine Me could be read a book with a creature with a beak on the cover. That's my update. I'm probably gonna go eat lunch now and read more of People Kill People. Hello! If you cannot already tell because I am wearing something different, then it is the next day. It is the next day. And I didn't vlog at all yesterday, except for that one clip that I showed you. But, I was just having one of those days where you just are in a terrible mood and don't want to do anything. Also, I didn't really have much to update you on, but now I have 2 updates. The first one is that I have successfully completed People Kill People by Hopkins. And, you know, it just wasn't that good. I thought this book was just supremely mediocre. I feel like it could have done so much, especially with a topic like gun violence, which is, like, a very serious and prevalent topic in the US. And especially with just what happened in Canada. Not gonna go over it, because 1, I don't know enough, and 2, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, so it could have been so much more than it was, and I feel like if the whole book was told in verse, instead of switching between the 6 character perspectives, it would have been better. Like, we still could have switched between the character perspectives, but I feel like those should have been told in verse as well, because it just felt very clunky. But also the second person just wasn't doing it for me. I am not a fan of second person, and it just, there was such a disconnect with the characters, and I could not relate or sympathize or even connect with them at all. I just felt it was terrible. But I did start another physical book, which I have right here. I am on page 99, and it is Bloodwitch by Susan Dennard. So this book counts for the challenge of reading a book that has witches or wizards. These aren't, like, traditional witches, like, in the actual definition of the word, but I'm still gonna count it, because they are witches. I mean, it literally says witch in the title. But, yeah, this is the 4th book in the Witchland series. It is technically the 3rd book, but I don't know. I enjoy this series. I gave Truthwitch, I read like the first 3 books last year. I gave Truthwitch 3 stars, Windwitch 4 stars, and Sightwitch like 2 stars. I didn't really love Sightwitch, but it was like on the high end of 2 stars. This is fine so far. I'm only like 100 pages in. For once, I am not reading a 600-page book. But I don't know what's up with me and sequels. I'm just really into them right now, I guess. In every single book, we follow one character mainly more than the others. So, in this book, we are following Adwin for the most part. There are so many other perspectives, though. I feel like the first 100 pages were just introductory chapters. I read the last book in the series over a year ago, so I am kind of... I'm not confused, but, like, I'm definitely getting reacquainted with the world. But, yes, that is that. But we have so many characters. We have, obviously, Adwin. Then we have Isolde, Safi, Merrick, Vivia, Styx. I don't know if there's going to be any more, but those are so far the first 6 POVs that we've had. And I like multi-POV stories. I do enjoy these books. Susan Dennard's writing kind of gets on my nerves sometimes. Sometimes it's like really nice and flowery and really descriptive, but other times it's just way too conversational for a third-person narrative, which, I mean, is good sometimes, but, like, I don't know, sometimes it's just weird. Also, I mentioned this in my review, like, on Goodreads for Truthwitch, that there are different languages in this world, but it is so weird. Anytime someone asks a yes or no question and the answer is yes, the characters will use the word for yes, which is hi. It's like H-Y-E, but that is the only consistent word we get in the language, and it's just so random. It's just anytime they are saying yes, they say hi, but there are no, like, words that are commonly used that are replaced with the languages in this world, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it is fine so far. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it by the end of tomorrow. I do want to read, get up to, like, the halfway point by tonight, which means I have to read, like, 100 and something more pages, which seems doable. But, yeah, that is it. I'm gonna go for a walk. I feel like every time I'm updating this vlog, I'm literally just going for a walk. But yeah, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I'm just not in the best mood. Also, I had to do so much work today. So if that's why I just seem devoid of personality, yeah. But I did, it was really fun, for like 20 minutes or so. Chanel, from Chanel Time, and I were like DMing back and forth, because we're planning on buddy reading something in May. But we were just, like, DMing back and forth, talking about books, and, like, how our brains are literally fried because of all the work we're getting. But yeah, that is what I had to say. I might not update it all of it today, but if I do get farther in the book, I might update, or I might just ghost this vlog again and not talk to you until tomorrow. If that is the case, I'm sorry. It is the next day. Which you could probably guess because I'm me, but, I am 200 pages into Bloodwitch. I think my week 2 vlog is currently uploading, so if you can hear my computer doing, like, a whirring sound, that's what that is, because my computer is so old. But, yeah, I am enjoying Bloodwitch. So far, it's fine. It's very slow, but so were the first 2 books, so it's keeping in line. At least it's the same. But I do feel like it is, like, revving up for what is to come. In the next couple of books, there was a sentence that I actually marked, and it was, like, with a tab, and it was like, the people jumped out like a sea fox coiling from the sea. And I was like, what? I'm gonna go finish uploading my reading vlog, and then hopefully get back to reading some more of Bloodwitch. It is later in the day. I don't know what time it is, but it's later, and I'm, like, just about 300 pages into Bloodwitch by Susan Dennard. I also realized I've been using the same bookmark for, like, almost every book I've been reading. but it is because all the books I've been reading kind of fit with the bookmark. Anyway, I basically feel the same about this book. I'm still enjoying it. Right now it's sitting at like a 3-star. In Bloodwitch, we are not getting much of Adwin, and that's sort of, like, I was really excited to learn more about his backstory, and we are, but I feel like we're not focusing as much on him as we were the other characters in their books, if that makes any sense. I feel like we're honestly focusing more on, like, Isolde in this story, and Isolde's book is book 5 in the series, technically. The next book is going to focus on Assault, mostly, but I feel like we're following her a lot more in this book than we are Adwin. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I have, like, 160 pages left, I think, around that. Yeah, around 160 pages left, and I'm hoping to finish it today. I am honestly kind of in a mood where, like, I just feel like reading is kind of a chore, and that's just never fun. So I'm gonna try to, like, be more upbeat and positive. I am probably gonna go on a walk, and I'm hoping to read, like, 60 more pages before dinner, and then I can read the last 100 pages later. Or, I don't know, something like that. But I am gonna go. So, goodbye. I kind of look like a mess right now, but I have finished Bloodwitch by Susan Dennard. I don't know what I'm gonna rate this book. I have absolutely no idea, but I will update you in the morning when I have some thoughts and can talk about this book and, like, formulate a sentence. I just wanted to say that I have finished it and that I will talk to you in the morning. It is the morning, if you could not already tell, but I am just gonna wrap up this vlog and also my feelings on Bloodwitch, which I have right here. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The clips that I was filming for, like, the first 200 to 300 pages, I was very meh about, and if we were just judging on that beginning, I'd probably give this book 3 stars, but I really liked the last 150 to 200 pages. I think it was really well done, and I cannot wait for the next books in this series. I've already been looking up the next book to try to see if there are any snippets or synopses online. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and it is pretty slow. I would definitely recommend this series, but it is pretty slow. It does get quicker as the story goes on, so just sort of push through the first 100 to 200 pages and you should be good. But if you don't like that, maybe wait until the whole series is finished so you can just binge them. But since this is going to be such a long series that these are definitely the middle books, and we're setting up for something bigger and greater. But my favorite book in the series is still Witch. I loved Witch, and I do want to reread this series probably before the next book comes out. So yeah, I really am excited to reread Witch because that one was my favorite. This is a close second. Then I would have to say Truth Witch and then Sight Witch after that. But this is probably my favorite cover in the series. Either this or Witch is my favorite cover in the series. I just really like the colors on this cover and the spine and stuff like that. But I do, even though I said this book was a little long, I feel like it was a perfect size. Just because we really got to delve into the grittier stuff and, like, the slower burning things. But yeah, that is that. I give it 4 stars. I would definitely recommend the series if you are an avid fantasy reader. But that is it for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have my Imagine Me Reading vlog, my O.W.L.s Readathon Week 1 and 2 vlogs in the description box below if you're interested. But that is it. Tell me in the comments videos you would like to see me do in the future. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!